Hey, this is Rick, and welcome to Spit Take. And I'm here with my co host, Adam.
Hello.
And yeah, there's, first of all, uh, so the whole Nurse Hannah thing we talked about last week,
Yeah, I looked into it. Watched some of the
there's this,
videos.
did you hear about this guy, Anthony?
No, I didn't hear about
Okay,
Anthony.
so there's this dude, Anthony, and he made this TikTok video like, I found out where they work. I looked up LinkedIn profiles, and he did all this crazy stuff to figure out who they were and where they were at and everything. And he was like, I'm a fuck around and find out guy. And so that's not really funny.
Yeah.
Uh, so like
Stalking.
he got all these views and stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, get him, and so he can be a hero. And then his, I guess, cousin came out and made a video saying that he's not a real hero. He essayed me and a lot of the females in my family. And now he's a narcissist because, well, he is a narcissist because he's trying to like look good, and look like a hero. It's like, damn, that took a complete left turn.
Yeah.
I really, it's really fun to just sit back and watch everybody be crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, I looked into some of that Hannah stuff. I didn't hear about this Anthony guy, but it's so funny to watch people, especially the ones who, believe in themselves to be heroes, to be the exact opposite and complete nut jobs. And I think that there is a big portion of the internet that, what she was saying in one of the videos of people trying to get TikTok famous and stuff, that is true. But I also believe that she did those terrible things. So it's
Well,
like,
she's
yeah,
projecting because
yeah,
it's not like she's going to take any responsibility for it.
no, she's a bad person. But I mean, it is very possible. And that wasn't there like a Black Mirror about that too, like using social media to basically um, damage somebody's reputation. Maybe that
Oh,
was the
yeah.
one with like the where you had to like you could rate people.
Rate? Oh,
Rate.
you mean like
Yeah.
social credit.
Yeah.
So yeah. So they have that in China.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Oh, is it really?
And so that's a lot of fear of the future, especially with social media and stuff, that people are uh everything. It's kind of, what's that called? It's really big. Like, people, that's like the one thing people hate about the Hindu religion, but I think it's more
Oh,
India, where
the
there's
caste
like
system.
the caste system. It kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of that. Like, you're born into this,
Yeah.
so like, oh, you're born and you're a worker and you're lower than us and stuff like that. When really it should be everybody's a person, right?
Right.
And yeah, that was a good episode where it's like you make a mistake, any mistake, and then you have to pay for it the rest of your life.
Right. Well, and I think about that sometimes. Things like just even doing this podcast. I mean, we trash talk a movie that somebody likes, and for some reason they're so hardcore, diehard fans, and they start trying to trash us. And it's something that could happen. It's not likely, but it's something that could happen. And just being out there and available to the internet is something that puts you at risk.
It kind of does happen
It does.
when you look at politics and the extremes. It's because politics was not this way before 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And now people are literally cutting off their family because they voted for Trump. Not going to Thanksgiving, not going to
Mm-hmm.
Christmas. We're done. And, I don't remember politics being that way before 2016.
It's pretty cutthroat now. It's insane. Um, I when you look at what's happening with the politics and how it's being handled, it's it's theater is what it is. It's complete theater, and I mean this is worse than some of the some of the various sports teams, like their rivalries and everything. We can go to the stadium, get beat up for wearing the wrong colors. It's it. It's hard to believe, and both sides are like so extreme about it. People cutting off someone because they voted for Trump, people cutting someone off because they voted for Kamala. Like, it's so insane. It's a politician that is in a system of checks and balances. People are like, this guy's crazy. Okay, well, they gotta they gotta beat two other branches of government before they could really do anything or make changes. Yeah, there's executive orders, but those will be shot down. Like, it takes a lot.
But I think the biggest thing is there's a lot of Republicans that hate Trump
There are.
because Trump's not really a Republican. I
No.
consider MAGA a complete separate party, all in its own. You
Hmm.
know, uh, but he has all. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that,
Yeah.
uh, but it's not Republican and it's not quite Democrat
Yeah.
because if you look at it, like Elon Musk and RFK Jr., lifelong Democrats, are now literally working with Trump on his cabinet.
Yeah.
And so it is there are a lot of different extremes. I don't think, and I think people think it's just two extremes.
Yeah.
But
There
you got
are.
to understand there are extreme lefties that hate Joe Biden and Kamala Harris
Hmm.
too, and hate Trump. And that's the same thing. Libertarian Party trashes both sides.
Yeah.
There is a lot. I think there's a lot different sides than what we think there is,
Yeah.
or what we
But
see.
the political theater and everything on social media is amusing to watch. Like, because I have friends on both sides who are either extreme liberal or extreme conservative, and just like watching both sides, they're ridiculous. The shit that they say is ridiculous, and it makes me laugh. Like, I don't dislike them for any reason. I don't think that they're crazy. I just think that they're putting so much effort into the politics that it's amusing.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It's just some of the stuff that I see is so funny, and that's what I'm there for. I'm there to watch the hilarity of all of it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't agree with everything that Trump does. I like Trump for the most part. I hope that we'll see some good changes, and I mean he was definitely the better choice in this election and previous elections. But um, yeah, I mean, I don't, just because I like a candidate or a president doesn't mean I agree with everything they do, and vice versa. Just because I don't like them doesn't mean that I think everything that they do is wrong. There's good and bad with each side. So, um, I think that the opportunity is staying in the middle and understanding what each side brings to the table.
Hmm. I don't think there really is middle. I like to think outside more separate. Because if I say middle, I'm kind of still in it.
Yeah,
So I want to be distant from it
yeah,
so that I can view the whole thing.
right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just trying to weigh out what I see left and right, and it's again, take the good with the bad. But we wanted to talk about the United Healthcare assassination the other day. So
Yeah.
you were saying that you found some interesting things. I haven't followed super deeply into it. I know. So the premise, if you're not familiar with this and you're listening, the CEO of United Healthcare was gunned down outside his hotel um, by an individual. I didn't catch his name. I know they just caught him today at the McDonald's. The funny story about that McDonald's got review bombed with 1-star reviews because they ratted him out. But this looked like it had to do with a denied claim. I don't know. Maybe you probably read more into this than I did. So
Well, it's more. So, first of all, yes, the United Healthcare worker or CEO was gunned down, and the rest of the rest of the corporate team walked over him and still went upstairs and had a meeting because they had to get to a meeting. Like there was no, oh man, we got to close down for today, you know, which which is kind of telling in and of itself.
Yeah.
And absolutely everybody that I see, people are trying to make this a left and right issue. It's like it doesn't seem to be.
Mm.
Uh, like denying certain care and stuff like that. Uh, and people are like, screw this guy, which is weird because not to say I don't agree with it, but also it's like, wow, everybody's really cheering a cold hearted murder, which is
Yeah.
really odd to me. Uh, but also, so this Luigi, what's his name?
Yeah. He was Italian or something.
Well, here's the thing. Luigi Mangione. Now, there's something deeper going on. I guess there's like a website that says more to come and the truth is getting out there, but it's his website. And he's saying he didn't do it. And so he's caught in McDonald's by a McDonald's worker with a backpack with all the incriminating evidence. He's a valedictorian
Hmm.
and an Ivy League graduate. Doesn't all that seem odd to you?
Yeah. There was so they he had like a 3-page manifesto that he created. I did read about that.
Allegedly, he created.
He
That's
allegedly, sure.
what we're saying.
There was
Because
some.
here's the thing: there was two pictures that came out, and the two pictures aren't the same of the shooter.
I saw that. I saw the side by side comparison of the two pictures. um,
Literally, two guys in a hood,
yeah,
different colors.
yeah, um, yeah. So like, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where these investigations lead. I'm, you know, skeptical about some of it. The whole UHC thing. I mean, yes, the healthcare system is pretty bad right now. I mean, it has been since Obamacare. I know that people need healthcare, and that was kind of the initiative behind it. But my own, for myself, if I'm looking at this for myself, I was on a pretty decent insurance plan through USAA, and then after Obamacare came out, I got the call and they said, "Well, you know what? We're dropping you, and we're not doing insurance anymore because we can't afford it after Obamacare." So, the health insurance plan that I was on that was taking care of me at the time was completely dismantled, and I had to go find new insurance that cost me nearly triple what I was paying at the time for less coverage. So the personally, I have some very strong feelings about how our healthcare, about how the health insurance industry is covering us. Not healthcare necessarily, health insurance. And, we just switched over to UHC at work. Um, I'm not as excited about it, but um, I don't know much about them. I've always kind of been with Blue Cross Blue Shield, so um, I, I could see people being upset, denied claims and stuff. I mean, for all we know, and this is assuming that this person is in fact the killer, the shooter, whatever you want to call him. Assuming that, we don't know if his mom was denied a claim by them and ended up passing away, because of illness. We don't know what the circumstances are behind it. It's doesn't make it right, but that could drive somebody to doing crazy things, losing a family member just because of a denied
I
insurance claim.
don't think. Okay, so he inherited a holiday theme park. He has two sisters, or he has like a sister that's one of the top doctors in the U.S. I doubt his something like that happened.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure they can afford health care.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
for entertainment purposes only, there's a deep state involved.
Mm-hmm.
And notice the same thing happened with Trump's shooting, where like a picture came out of the shooter, but the picture was like when he was 15. When you look at the present picture, allegedly, it's actually like the kid's dressed like a woman.
Hmm.
Why are they not showing that picture?
Yeah.
So why are they showing up two different pictures? Why is he carrying around the incriminating evidence into
Yeah.
McDonald's? Why didn't he leave it in his car?
Huh.
You see where I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's not just some crazy guy.
I don't know. I don't know if he's crazy. I know that. I don't know. I have to look into it more because there was something else about like a teacher he had when he was in school that was a big anti-healthcare person. I got to look back into it. I just kind of briefly glanced over it today. But there was something about like it was like they were implying the influence of a teacher from his school that put ideas like that into his head. That
Who's
was,
implying that?
huh?
Who's
I don't know.
implying that?
Whatever the article was I was reading, I can't remember
Okay,
who it
so
was.
it's mainstream media.
Yeah,
You know what mainstream media does, right?
I know. I know they lie. But I
Yeah.
also look at how,
I don't read mainstream media.
but I also look at things like, did you ever watch The Following with Kevin Bacon? Anyways,
The following?
The Following. Oh, dude, it was a fantastic show. For the first two seasons. After season 2, you can stop. They had like part of season 3, and then it got canceled. But the first two seasons were amazing. But in any case, in that story is where the main serial killer, he creates a cult basically. He creates a cult, and he was like a poetry teacher at a college, and ended up developing this cult by and influencing people to go out and do murders on his behalf. Um, Fantastic show. Soundtrack's amazing. But that was the whole premise behind the show, was that he was basically making political statements and getting students to follow through with his bidding. Um, I'm not saying that's what happened here, but it'd be a
It's
hell of
not.
an interesting story if they did.
But the thing is, you're literally reading mainstream media, which has not told the truth, at least for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know. More's gotta come out about this. I mean, it seems crazy, the
There's a
etchings
lot
on
of
the
stuff
casings.
that doesn't get reported. The mainstream media is there to tell you what they want you to think.
I
That's
kn-
what they do.
I know what the mainstream media does. I'm not ignorant of that. I know even when they even with the attempted Trump assassination, when they said unconfirmed reports of gunshots, when there was literally videos coming out of him being shot in the ear, like that was it was crazy that I don't know, but
You
what I'm
know,
saying,
like one media site will tell a completely different story from another site, or they will all get their information from CNN. Like they will all have the same article and link it the source to CNN. I keep seeing that over and over and over again. Will they have all this information and the source links to like one article? It doesn't even link to anybody. It just links to an article that says somebody said this, but then doesn't name the person.
yeah. Well, some people are just crazy. I mean, for all we know, this guy had a couple of screws loose, and he was in fact the shooter.
I mean, it could be possible, but why is the picture of him that came out then different from the picture that said it was then now?
Well, so that's what they were saying, was that this was the picture of the guy who did it, and that was the first picture that came out. Um, and then I saw retractions where they said, "Hey, wait, it's not this guy; it's a different guy. This is the guy. Actually, this one was taken from a different
Right.
um, camera." So,
And so now there's a different. Oh, let's retract that. We got a different plan.
but was the person from the first picture that was released? Is that the
No,
same
it was a
person that got
completely. It wasn't
arrested?
even the same person.
Right. So that's where, I
So
mean,
why are they
definitely,
switching the people?
like, it's definitely wonky. It was false information for sure, but that's where, I guess that's where I'm stuck, is like, what was it? Was it in fact just a crazy person, or was it, you know, is it some kind of deep conspiracy? I don't know much. I haven't done the deep
But if
dive
it's a
like you have
crazy
into it.
person, why does he want to get caught? Why does he want to get caught?
Some people are dumb. Have you ever watched Cops? You ever seen the Cops where they're chasing the guy through the woods and he's wearing light up shoes? Like, some
No,
people are
he
dumb.
no he purposely got caught. There is no way a McDonald's worker said that's him. I'm calling him. He went in there and said, "Hey, I need you to call the cops so you can get the $60,000 reward." He went in there on purpose.
Well, I know he went in there on purpose, but did he get caught on purpose?
He went in there and carried in all the incriminating evidence. Like, oh, I'm just going to grab this backpack and go into McDonald's.
Hmm.
I'm going to need this backpack to order a cheeseburger.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I know definitely there's going to be plenty of information coming out from various sites, mainstream media, and um, the usual conspiracy theorists.
Well, I think all that matters is the jury. Like, I'm not going to really believe anything that comes out.
Yeah,
Nor do I right now.
I don't know.
Because
It's tough if you're not the investigator on site looking into this and understanding what's happening. That's the people who truly know what's going on. Them, and if it
well,
is a conspiracy, the people behind the conspiracy,
they
obviously.
put in charge who they want to put in charge.
Not always. It depends.
No, I'm
Depends who's
pretty sure
involved.
pretty sure the deep state put in charge who they want to put in charge. It doesn't depend. It doesn't. The government. There's no coincidence with you got to understand the world is a stage. Nothing. There's no accidents that are happening. So that whole thing where what was that? I don't know if you ever seen that. Where Will Smith slaps Chris Rock.
Yeah.
That was a whole skit from years ago. That it turned out that exact same way.
What do you mean a skip?
There was a
From what?
skit. I don't know what that was from, but it was a skit that came out years ago, years before this even happened. And everything that happened in that skit happened on that at the Grammys or whatever.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just remember seeing the slap. I don't know anything about a skit that happened. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying that I don't know anything about it.
Well, that's because they're not saying, "Hey, this is all." They're not telling us this is happening. They're making us believe and feel what they want us to believe and feel. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to respond to you on these ones sometimes.
Your life is a lie.
Yeah. I guess. I took the blue pill. Uh,
Well, never take the blue pill.
yeah.
Take the black pill.
Yeah. Well,
Anyways, you want to talk about Smile too?
Yeah, so let's talk some pop culture. Smile 2. I watched it the other day on what was it? I'm trying to remember the channel. It was Paramount Plus. So I watched Smile 2. I had seen the first one when it came out a couple years ago. It was a decent movie up until the end where they ruined it with a terrible CGI monster that basically made me laugh and it was a joke. I appreciated the first Smile movie because they had some genuinely creepy moments that made you a little uneasy, and I thought they should have done more of that. Smile 2 actually delivers on that. They have a lot of very creepy moments where you are questioning what's real and what's not from the monster. Um, and it stars Naomi Scott, who I had to look her up because I'm like, I know that name. Who is she? She was Princess Jasmine in the Aladdin live action movie. She was Kimberly from the Power Rangers movie in 2018. Um, and she was pretty good in the movie, and like just her becoming very unraveled and just the premise of the movie is basically the same as the first, except what if it happened to Miley Cyrus? That's the premise of the movie. Um, and there were some scenes in there that left you very much like this is uncomfortable to watch because of how creepy it was. There's a specific scene where she's in her apartment by herself at night, and she wakes up and she turns on a light, and there's like 15, 20 people standing in her hallway, just like still staring at her, smiling. She kind of backs down, backs away like towards the hallway in her room. She's backing away, and they're still just standing there. And then she tries to take off running, and they all come after her in like very creepy demon walk type of way. And then like when she turns around and stops, like they all stop. So there was like some stuff like that that was going on. There was a couple of jump scares, but they used it very sparingly, which I thought was good. And they fixed the CGI monster at the end. It was actually they made it look much better, and I think they heard all the complaints about it because it looked terrible in the first movie. You saw the first one, right?
I did. I uh I was just like, great, they're smiling,
Yeah.
and it didn't do anything for me.
I thought it had some creepy moments in it. That's what I liked about it was that they did feed on that. Like if you look at the first sorry, It Part 1 from the newer ones. The first scene where Georgie's talking to Pennywise in the sewer and everything. Like that moment in that movie was so fantastic that I wish they had done so much more of that. And I think again, it kind of delivers on that kind of creepy factor a little bit more. There's some times where, and not like it's scary, just creepy. It kind of gives you an uneasy feeling. But I thought Smile 2 wasn't bad. Um, I don't think I think it was probably about as good as the first one. So take it as you want. If you weren't really impressed with the first one, you could probably skip it. But um, I had seen the first one. I thought it was a pretty decent movie, so I ended up watching the second. And like I said, pretty decent if you're just looking for a movie to sit around and watch. It's not going to win any Oscars, and probably will not become a cult classic. But it was, worth the time to watch it, in my opinion.
Guess who I'm gonna meet at Comic Con?
Who's that?
He goes by the name. Well, he once went by the name of Captain Kirk.
William Shatner.
Yes.
Nice.
I am very excited.
Well, get it in while you can. He's like 90 something years old.
Oh yeah, he's old.
Yeah. But you know what? He's still out there doing movies, doing guest spots. He's still getting around out there.
Yeah.
I love seeing him in so many different mediums, especially when he plays himself. He's always pretty funny, and he has a good sense of humor about himself, about his ego. Um, like he was in. Did you ever see the Range 15 movie?
No.
Okay, that was the one made
For
by the
for
guys.
the millionth time, no.
I
And
know
I'm
we've talked
never
about
probably
before.
gonna watch it.
It's so damn funny. But yeah, that's the one by Ranger Up in Article 15. But he was in that movie as like a lawyer, I think. that was talking to Matt Best, and he, he was in there for just a little bit and then becomes a zombie. But they have a whole thing at the end of the movie where they're doing kind of outtakes and behind the scenes stuff, which was kind of cool. And like William Shatner was walking around shaking people's hands, like so excited to meet them, because the whole movie was all veterans. Everybody in the movie was a veteran. So he was walking around shaking hands and like, just like you could see his bewilderment just like talking to these people. And I thought it was really neat and kind of a fun thing, to see that somebody who's such a big hero to so many people out there, like from the from different movies and everything, just being blown away by the veteran heroes. So, but I've always liked William Shatner. I've always thought he was, he's a great actor. He's really funny in real life. I've seen his roast on Comedy Central was great. He's somebody I would like to meet someday.
Well,
Yeah, I know. I don't got much
we
time.
don't have much time.
Well, hopefully he hangs around. The guy's a legend.
You can come to Comic-Con with me and meet him.
I don't count money for Comic Con.
It's not that expensive.
Well, I have a budget of $0, so a little expensive.
Yeah, so just fake it.
Yeah.
Trying to think if I've even watched anything since last. When did we last have a podcast?
Thursday last week was the last time we did an episode.
I've watched nothing.
Oh, you know what? I did watch something. I watched something else. Creature Commandos. I watched the
is that
first.
out?
Yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes that are out right now. It's pretty good. They're only like 20-minute episodes though, so like it hasn't really gotten into much yet. It's still kind of building the story, but there's been a little bit of violence and action. They've had some really good fight scenes in there. The story does pick up after Peacemaker, because they even reference Peacemaker and they reference the Suicide Squad, and because Amanda Waller's talking to Rick Flag Sr. about everything, and they're kind of recapping stuff as a form of exposition. But it's been good so far, and it's been interesting. Rick Flag Sr. is a badass. There's the bride gets into a fight with the whole premise of the show is that this enchantress from Themyscira wants to take over Themyscira, and she's creating like this army, and their first stop is in this country. I can't remember the name of it. It starts with a P. I think it's a made-up country, but their first stop is in this country. So she's got this band of I don't know, like looks like she's manipulating a bunch of people to do this for her, but they're like militia types, and so this Creature Commandos group goes to the country to try to protect the princess so that she doesn't die, and it's in the preservation of the U.S.'s self-interest, which is they're making a deal about oil. So that's the kind of premise of the show so far, but the fights have been great. The fight between the bride and the I can't remember the witch's name, but the fight between them was pretty amazing. Frankenstein's coming into the fold somehow. Dr. Phosphorus and Rick Flag get into a big fight that was pretty good. But yeah, it's interesting. I want to see where it goes. Like I said, the hard part is that it's 20 minutes, so they don't have a chance to get into much in the episode, and then it's like it's over. I wish they were a little bit longer and had more story in them.
Well, then perhaps I'll wait till it all comes out so I can binge it.
That's kind of what I was thinking. At one point, I was like, maybe I should just wait until it's all out, because the one episode a week, 20 minutes is like, well, what happened last week? What's going on with this? So, yeah, I don't think you'll miss anything if you wait for it to roll out over the next, whatever, 8 to 10 weeks. But I thought it was a good show so far. And
So
I like
Oh,
Alan
go ahead.
Tudyk. I was gonna say I like Alan Tudyk, and he's been doing a great job.
Well, so I was watching, Claymation Rudolph
Yeah,
earlier today, between sessions. And so I posted a video because my daughter comes in from school. I said, "You want to watch Rudolph with me?" No. That drives me nuts because it's like
Classic.
Claymation Rudolph, Claymation Christmas, like that's one of the things I look forward to every year.
Yeah.
You know, um, with Yukon
Mm-hmm.
and Hermes and and Elf practice and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I posted a video of it and I said, my child won't watch Claymation Christmas movies with me on our TikTok. Please tell me this isn't the end of tradition. So we got 964 views and 98 likes and getting a lot of comments. People are like, how does a child not like these? They made Christmas come to life for me, even this day. One person wanted me to tie her down, make her watch it.
What?
um, you know,
Yeah.
um,
The internet's a
yeah, hold them
crazy place.
hostage and make them watch it.
No. Oh,
uh,
okay. They're saying tie your daughter down and make her watch it.
make her watch. No,
'Cause I
not
thought you were talking about like the person being like, tie me down. Like what?
tie them down. Yeah,
Like I was like, oh, the internet's a dark place.
no, tie my daughter down to watch it.
Yeah, sure.
And so I think pretty much, I don't know how Gen Zers are, but millennials are probably on the same page. But it begs the question, because I don't know if that's really what's going on. My daughter, she's not interested in like old classic rock like I am. Like, literally, I listen to all types of music, but when I turn on Spotify and it says like your list, like this is
Yeah.
truly you, it's like classic rock.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that's weird. How because I can just sit down and listen to classic rock and be fine. My daughter doesn't like a lot of music that I play, but she really loves Weezer
Okay. I
and
can see
she
that.
loves the Cardigans,
Okay.
which I don't know if they had any other song, but love me.
Yeah.
Um, but it just begs the question. When we were kids, we watched these 60s and 70s. Star Wars was way before we were born. We watched movies and shows. They came out before we were born.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, is this the end of it? Are kids going to not watch the 70s claymation, 60s and 70s claymation Christmas and stuff
Well,
like that?
so and granted, our daughters are very different in age right now. But like my daughter's 3, and we watched the Frosty the Snowman cartoon, which was, you know, she really enjoyed watching it. She sat there and watched the whole thing.
Well,
She
that's a
really liked
different
it.
story, though.
Yeah,
When you're 3,
that's what I'm saying. Is like they're very different in age. But my daughter seems to be taking a liking to my music. But I also let her listen to whatever she wants. She does a lot of pop. She does a lot of rock. She knows who
right?
Wigwam is. Like, she's,
I don't
you
know.
know, yeah, Canadian rock band.
Yeah.
So she likes a lot of different music and stuff. But again, she hasn't formulated really her own opinion. She listens to what I listen to right now. But again, very different when your daughter's 10 plus. So
Now, granted, my daughter does listen to, like, sometimes I'll play some like Midwest emo or something like that, and my daughter will get into that, you
yeah,
know. But it's not something I listen to all the time.
no, but yeah, it's crazy. 'Cause I know exactly what you're saying. Are they going to be as into these things like we were? Because I mean, when I looked up when Frosty the Snowman came out, I was like, this came out when my dad was a kid.
Right. That's what I'm
Like,
saying. I
you know,
used to watch Three Stooges. I used to watch the Marx Brothers.
yeah,
I used to watch Shirley Temple.
yeah,
You know, I had to
yeah.
force my daughter to watch Wizard of Oz this year because we watch it every Thanksgiving time.
I used to watch a lot of older shows with my dad, especially when I lived at home, and we watched things like Kung Um,
Oh, I
you
love
know,
Kung Fu.
Kung Fu's great.
I thought that's what was gonna be me when I grew up, but
Right, and it
I
still
didn't.
holds up. If you go back and watch it, it still holds up. And let's see, The Man from Uncle. Um,
I
that's
thought
an
I was gonna be
interesting.
a mix between Kung Fu and Highlander. I was gonna be like Duncan MacLeod, and
Yeah,
I was just gonna like walk around with a sword from town to town.
yeah. But I mean, I used to watch like the Three Stooges with him, and you know,
I
I don't
watched the
know.
Three Stooges. I watched Bugs Bunny,
We've watched a
Tom
couple
and
of Marx
Jerry.
Brothers, yeah. When I tried to get my daughter into the Looney Tunes, not long ago, and you know, it still amuses me. I still laugh when I watch it. It's still funny.
Oh, it's comedy gold.
Yeah, but you know, it's tough. There's so much new content out and everything, and what they're watching. I mean, we spend a lot of time watching Paw Patrol on the weekends. You know, not there's worse,
Well,
but
yeah, but she's 3.
yeah, exactly. But you know, it is fun to watch those old shows, especially because their stories were so much better. And I think that we've gotten some good content since then. But you know, Kung Fu was a great show. I love that one. Um, I'm trying to think of what other
I
like
mean, I
older
watched
shows.
the Bugs Bunny Pismo Beach
Yeah,
so many times. But my thing is, like, yeah, like, okay, yeah, there's a lot of new content, but there was a lot of new content then.
yeah,
I
but
was
not
still
nearly as
watching
much as there
Tiny
is now.
Toons and Tom and you know X Uncanny X Men and Winnie the Pooh, the new Winnie the Pooh, who I've met twice now.
Yeah,
You know, Gummy Bears, Gummy Bears. That's back when theme songs were real theme songs, by the way.
yeah, oh
Um,
yeah,
but like, so my daughter, you know, she did really like Powerpuff Girls,
hmm,
you know, and some of the stuff I watched. But it's like now it's just certain animes.
yeah. Yeah, my daughter will typically watch things like when I sit there and watch American Dad, she likes to sit there and watch it with me. I probably shouldn't let her watch that, but it's to me it's funny. But she'll sit there and she'll be
My
like, "I want to
daughter
watch
watches
Daddy's
way worse.
show." Yeah, she'll be like, "I want to watch Daddy's show." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I was like, "Which one?" And she's like, "The one with the talking fish." And I'm like, "Okay, we can watch
Oh
that."
yeah, she doesn't care about the jokes. There's an
No,
alien and a fish in it.
yeah, and the alien is the best part. And I'm
That's
like, I
why,
don't need to
like,
explain this to her,
yeah,
but she's picking up on things now. So now I have to be very, very careful about what I'm letting her watch.
she did watch The Simpsons and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
never really was careful about, like, yeah, I'm careful about letting her watch certain things,
Hmm.
but like, so she watches Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss, which are very
Yeah.
adult shows, like past South Park. But it's like I'm not gonna sit here and fight with her about it. In
Yeah.
fact, it very much uh, um, inspired her to be what she wants to be, which is a voice actor. And actually, one of those actors that inspired her are going to be at Comic Con as well. His name is Brandon Rogers. And so it's like when I was a kid, I was sneaking shit. I was watching heavy metal,
Yeah.
which was
Heavy metal.
terrible
Yeah.
for my age.
Should not be watching that.
You know, it was terrible for my age, but I watched it several times. And I was told by my mom how gross it was.
Yeah.
Uh, I actually will sit and watch Has Been Hotel with my daughter. I'm not gonna. I like she's an individual. I'm gonna allow her to be that individual, and
Yeah.
she's not a bad person. And allowing her, I think people are made when they're not. Bad people are made when they're not allowed to be their identity, not allowed to be
Sure.
who they want to be.
Yeah. For me, mostly right now, watching what content she's watching is because she's in the imitation stage and she's repeating everything like a little parrot. And I don't need calls from her daycare.
You know, it's crazy because my daughter always knows right from wrong,
Yeah. Yeah.
even though what she would repeat is what we said
Hmm.
in front of the wrong people.
Yeah.
She doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah. We're just trying to be more careful about that now because it was different when she was a little kid and, you know, she was watching Gremlins and didn't care and, you know, like didn't care like that there were monsters, but now it's something that will scare her. Um, but movies and shows with strong language, I have to be very careful of because she will go around and repeat it. Um, but I mean, she's pretty good. She knows she for the most part she knows what not to say when she leaves the house. In the house is a different story, but then I worry about what she's saying that they're just not telling me at school. But she's a fairly smart kid, so I think she'll figure it out eventually. But I like I do enjoy watching shows and movies with her, older movies, because she's into watching them right now, and I know that will change in the future. But she'll ask to watch the Santa Claus every single day of the week, and I don't mind
Oh
because I love
yeah.
that movie.
I think that's I think I don't know how many times I watched Moana and Frozen and what's the other one? The one with the fox and the little Zootopia,
Oh yeah, okay,
which had the funniest sloth in the world on it.
yeah,
And Sing, oh my god, I watched Sing too many times.
yeah, yeah, and some of the stuff is not bad. The again, she right now because it's the Christmas season. She likes watching the Santa Claus. She likes watching Elf. During Halloween, it was the Nightmare Before Christmas. She was watching that every day. Um, so at least she's watching movies that I would watch. And the Santa Claus has not gotten old yet. That's just such a fantastic movie. You can watch that over and over.
Well, that's the thing is she doesn't want to watch these things, which is sad because like as a father, I want to share these things with my child.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I don't want her to force her to do something she don't want to do, which I sometimes do.
yeah,
But it's like I can't do that all the time because it's not enjoyable if she's just grumpy.
yeah,
She wants to sit in her room and do whatever weird stuff she wants to do and talk on the phone with people and blah blah blah. And so she she was because she likes to dress up in cosplay and she's been playing this game called Sally Face or something like that. And there's this character called Stuart, which now that I think
mhm.
about kind of reminds me of was it Stuart Beavis and Butthead? Uh,
Oh,
where he's like that
been
little
too long.
nerdy guy.
Yeah,
um, he was always taking the blunt. Um, but he's got this like really short blonde hair. No, it's not Stuart. I was calling her Stuart because I was calling her Stuart from Mad TV. She
yeah,
got
okay,
really mad about it because she had this
yeah,
really short bowl cut hair.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, Stuart. And she got really mad about it
One of the
because
most
Stuart's like
classic
one of my
Mad
favorite
TV,
characters ever.
one of the most classic Mad TV characters of all time.
Thomas,
No,
let me do it.
I don't want to.
uh,
Stuart.
Now I look back at Mad TV and I wonder why I thought it was funny.
They had some funny
Not,
stuff.
but a lot of it is just like I don't know what it was.
It
It
was sketch
wasn't
humor.
funny, but at
There
the
was
same time, it had so many great people on it.
They had great people, and some of their sketches were just like they were comedy gold. There was when Bobby Lee was on the show. There was one that I'll never
Bobby
forget.
Lee is amazing.
He's so funny, and there was one that I'll never forget where they had him on like a green screen and like with his green screen suit on and stuff, and he was supposed to do the motion capture for um, Dragon's Quest 2 or something, and so they're telling him to do all these different motions. They're like, okay, so they're like, now you're on the dragon's head. Now you're stabbing him in the head, and he's just moving his hand up and down, like he's jerking off. So they're telling him to do all these things that just look extremely like sexual. And they're like, okay, now you got to drink the health potion. And they're like, yeah, drink it. And he's like, starts drinking. Like, no, 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 like hold it up above your head. And then they're like, yeah, now just like you're just pouring it on your face. And he's just doing these motions. It was one of the funniest things I had ever seen, and that was a great Mad TV sketch. But they had some good characters on there.
My
The Stewart
favorite,
one.
my favorite sketch of all time is when they did like a mock of Weekend at Bernie's, and every time they did something, they turn around, look at the camera, and go for sex.
Yeah.
I can't even say it without laughing. It's just, hey, girls, how you doing? Why don't you come to the party tonight? For sex.
Yeah. Yeah. They had some good ones on there because I used to watch that. I used to watch that every week. They had some funny stuff, and I always loved seeing Stuart.
But
That was
like, how do you come up with like a character like Stuart or Miss Swan?
yeah,
You look like a man. Like,
yeah.
okay, that was hilarious, but why is it funny? Why?
Why is it funny?
There was no
That's
joke.
no.
It's just like she's just this foreign lady that talks funny.
That was the joke. That was it.
You're making a ton of money off that.
Yeah,
Like, there's really nothing to it.
yeah. I remember. Yeah, he looked like a man. What did he look like?
And you're
He
like,
looked
you
like a
know
man.
it's coming every time. And
Yeah,
she's like, ooh, and like because like she's really stretching it out.
yeah.
And like you're like, here it comes, looking like a man. You're like, yeah.
And that's the voice of Lois Griffin today. So,
Ugh.
yeah. Yeah, God, they had some good. I'm trying to remember if it was them or if it was Saturday Night Live, but I think it was Mad TV. They used to do like little claymation sketches on there. Um, but they had some pretty funny ones. I remember it was kind of Robot Chicken before Robot Chicken. Um, but they had like a good one that was it was like for Easter or something, and it was right around the time Alien Resurrection came out, and it was basically the death of Christ. And when he rises, he's Ellen Ripley, and there's like a xenomorph running around, and he's fighting. But it's like they're doing this like it's the story of Jesus Christ. It was a pretty good bit.
But you know, it wasn't the first. And Living Color was before that.
Yeah,
And I mean, it really is like a lot of why is this funny? But then there's like just stuff that was outrageously funny.
yeah,
Like, okay, we'll just create this character, Homie the Clown,
yeah,
and he hits people with a sock. It's like, but like Damon Wayans and Jim Carrey were the two best in that. And my favorite Damon Wayans, other than Handicap Man, and the detective where he's just like a shoe and a head.
yeah,
But he's the homeless guy, and that's funny because he did it before Chappelle. He was a homeless guy, and he was doing. It was kind of like going into his house, but it was like a box. But you
mhm.
go into the box, and then it's this big, spacious mansion.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my favorite sketches that from In Living Color was the one where Jim Carrey is the self defense instructor.
Oh,
You remember that one? And he's like, all right, now you come at me, and they're like, this is a real knife, and he's like, yeah, he's like, just come at me, I'm not scared, I'll stop you or whatever. And they come at him and they stab him, and he was like, no, 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 you're doing it wrong. You got to do it like this. And then they do it again, and they stab him again, and he's like, no, no, no. He's like, now you got to walk towards me, moving it up and down, up and down. It's just so funny.
and I was thinking about it today. That is one thing I was thinking about. Is Jim Carrey is literally the greatest ever,
Oh, he is.
and it's not even close. Like, and I don't think he even gets nearly as much praise as he should.
He doesn't.
Like, comedy was gold, and then he moved in the drama,
Hmm.
and Eternal Sunshine of the Endless, what is it,
The
Mind or
Spotless
whatever.
Mind, yeah.
And then the Truman Show
Hmm.
are just two of the very like just super great acting, but mind bending movies
Yeah,
that have ever been released. And he can he really owned those roles too,
yeah,
and they were very thought provoking characters that he made work so well.
yeah.
And so it's like not just greatest comedy action. He is the greatest action comedy. You know, uh, Richards could have been just as good, but Kramer could have been just as good, but he didn't do nearly as enough, and then became racist.
Yeah,
Um, Jim Carrey is the greatest action comedian of all time, but then if he would have done more drama, I think he could have been the best actor of all time.
yeah. I feel like we talked about this last week a little bit too, because
We
he
talked
was.
about Jim Carrey.
We did talk about Jim Carrey. He he's a fantastic actor, and I mean he's done so many wonderful movies, and like because I don't think there's really a movie I've seen with him that I really hated.
No, not well. What was that first one he did in the '80s? Like Bite, something. Bite. It was a vampire movie.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I ever saw that.
It was kind of corny.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you can count movies before
Once
they were
Bitten.
once bitten. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Never saw
that came
one.
out in 1985.
I don't know if you can count movies against them before they were like really in mainstream movies. Like before they
Uh,
kind of found
I
themselves.
mean, I was 3 then, so I wouldn't know how big
Yeah.
that movie was.
Well,
I don't
it's
know how big Jim Carrey was then. I just know, and in Living Color, he was. That's when I know he started getting big.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's like Bruce Willis was kind of known before Die Hard, so
yeah,
I
he
don't
was
know.
in.
Or Tom Hanks. Like, Tom Hanks had a whole career before Forrest Gump.
Yeah,
You know? And it was a great career.
yeah,
Like
and
Splash and what's what's the Bachelor movie? Big
big.
and
Yeah.
like Big is a classic movie.
Well, and then he was on that show. What was that show called? I'm trying to remember the name. It's like it'll come to me later. But he was on a show for a while where he was. God, I don't even remember the premise. I remember watching this show, and I can like picture it, but I couldn't tell you what happens in it. But that was,
He was in Family Ties,
Family Tie.
and he
Yeah,
was
as
the
the drunk
drunk
uncle.
uncle,
Yeah,
and he wanted to drink vanilla extract
yeah.
to get drunk.
I
There
remember.
was no alcohol in the house.
I remember that.
It was so stupid.
What did I watch? I think it was like something from crack.com where they were like talking about that and they like did a whole video on it. It was pretty funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's just so fun. But that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, he became huge, but he was already pretty big. But
Yeah.
after Forrest Gump, he was just like untouchable.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's in everything biopic now. Like, I mean, he was Fred Rogers in the
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mr. Rogers movie. He was the guy in that oh god, Saving Mr. Banks. He was Walt Disney. And
I
apparently
never
he's like
watched.
related to all these people. I don't know. It was pretty good. It was I don't remember. So yeah, he was Walt Disney in that movie, which I heard was way off base from what had actually happened. Um, let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see it right now because it's going to bother me that I can't remember the name of that movie. But he's a big producer now. But I mean, he exploded in fame. One of my favorite things from 30 Rock was Tracy Morgan. His his character Tracy Jordan became so popular he could do no wrong, and everybody he was trying to be like crazy again and lose the respect of everyone. And then they told him, he was told he's like, they told him go back on TV and you'll lose all credibility as a famous actor and everything. And he goes on and starts doing the girly show TGS again. And then there's a call between God, who was it? It was Tom Hanks and someone else, but like Tom Hanks was like, "Are you seeing this?" He's like, "Well, okay, well he's off the list now. He's not one of us anymore." Just like he had a bit part on there that was so funny. Let's see.
Wow. Yeah, it's been
Bosom.
a while since
Oh,
we've seen that.
here we go. Bosom buddies. So he was on Bosom Buddies. Um, that was, if I remember the premise of the show correctly, okay, I'm just going to read it. Two young single admin must disguise themselves as women to live in the one apartment they can afford. That's the premise of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And it ran for 2 years. Don't know why it only ran for 2 years. People weren't ready for a cross-dressing Tom Hanks at the time, that's all.
Well,
But yeah, I mean, Toy Story 3, I mean, just Tom Hanks, and he's such a great actor, too. You know, Forrest Gump was like really his breakout role for me. That's where I kind of knew him from. But I mean, obviously, he was in A League of Their Own. And I had watched a lot of his
that's what I'm
movies.
saying. He was in a ton of other stuff and a ton of other good stuff.
Yeah. The Burbs, Turner and Hooch, Joe versus the Volcano, Philadelphia.
So why is it he was in several good things, but people didn't really like notice him
Right.
until Forrest Gump? You know,
Yeah. And I think it was just
it's
because
weird.
it became such an iconic movie where those other movies were
But
good,
Big
but they
was
weren't
very
iconic.
iconic.
I don't think it was as iconic as we look back on it at, I don't know what it did in the box office. I don't know how popular that movie really was when it came out, and it might have gained popularity later on. Or not, I shouldn't say popularity. I'm sure it was popular when it came
Flash was
out.
huge.
Yeah, but where they break out, I mean, they weren't Oscar-worthy movies like Forrest Gump was. Like that's where I think that I mean,
You
like
telling me
Philadelphia,
Turner and Hooch was not Oscar winning?
it was not. It was not. But
Wait,
like I
hold on
could
a
see
second.
like Philadelphia, but he wasn't really the main star of Philadelphia. He was one of the major stars, but really it was um Denzel Washington. He was really the breakout
He
star in that.
won his first Oscar. He had his first nomination for Big,
Hmm.
and then and back to back years 94 and 95. So Philadelphia was his first Oscar.
Okay.
And then he won Forrest Gump the next year.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
So he was growing. It's just weird. It took him 15 years. Like he was around for 10 years before that.
Yeah.
Actually, longer than that because didn't Splash come out in like 82, 83? So like
Yeah. Is that
he was around for a long time, but it took him like 10, 12 years to like be that big name.
yeah, which is not uncommon in Hollywood. And I mean, A League of
I
Their
think
Own.
it
He
is
was
uncommon if you look at these days. People break out like that.
not really. I mean, if you look at like Channing Tatum, right? Like he had some movies come out, but he wasn't like a huge star. I would say where he really became a huge
Channing
star was
Tatum
Magic
isn't these
Mike.
days. I'm talking about these days. People are becoming really big for like one role
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and for
hold
like
on.
their first role.
Let me look cuz so like one of the actors I really like right now is Glenn Powell, and he's been in a lot of stuff lately. I'm going to look and
But
kind
I
of see how
guess
long he's been
Pedro
doing stuff.
Pascal, it took really 20 years for him to break out.
Right, and he was so good. Well, he's good now. I don't
I'm kind
know.
of tired of him. Stop being in everything.
Um, but yeah, let's see. Let's look at Glenn Powell because he's really, again, he's somebody that I really like right now. But he's been acting since 2003. His first movie was Spy Kids 3, right? But like, I didn't know who he was until Maverick. Maverick was the first time that I recognized him in something. So you're talking about from 2003 to 2022. So it took him 20 years. And again, this
Yeah,
is
but
just for
it
me.
took Florence Pugh 5 years.
Yeah. So I mean, it's different for
Well, I
everyone,
don't
but
even think it took it 5 years.
yeah.
So
But like some of the bigger names, like because now Glenn Powell's in fucking everything.
I'd say it took
Um,
Florence Pugh even less than that.
yeah.
But like,
She had other fame though too, didn't she? Wasn't she like she was like a model or a singer or something? I mean, I'm thinking of someone else. I thought
I
she
don't
was
think
doing
so.
something else prior to that. Where, um, but yeah, I mean, you look at oh, Sydney Sweeney, right? She was on One Good Show, which was Euphoria, and now she's like everywhere. And she's not even that good of an
That
actress.
that was like 2 years ago.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is it didn't take her long. I'm proving your
That's what
point.
I'm saying. It's like
Yeah. It
it
didn't take
doesn't
her
take
long.
everybody 10, 15 years. It's really weird though, because sometimes it does take people 20 years.
Yeah. Right. And it's just like there's doesn't seem to be really a formula for it, you know? And I think it's just
Yeah,
some of
they're
the roles that
chosen.
you end up getting.
They're chosen by the
Yeah.
powers that be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I seen a clip of? And I think you'll appreciate this, and I'll probably have to watch the episode
Uh-huh.
of Community where Allison Bree's doing she's doing that dance for Joel.
Oh,
Uh,
as the dressed as like Mrs. Claus, yeah.
it
The
cracked
Christmas
me up
episode.
because he said I forget what he said something he goes and she's acting stupid. She goes a brr, 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 brr.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
I haven't
I was
watched
like,
any.
okay, I gotta watch that now.
Usually by now in the holiday season, I've watched every Christmas special that they had because they had some really good Christmas specials for Community. Because
I'm not even like ready for Christmas, and I do have to watch that. My favorite Office
yeah,
episode, and I really got to Simpsons. The very first episode was it? The
yeah,
Little Helper.
yeah.
Uh,
Uh, the Supernatural episode. They only did
there's,
one Christmas one,
there's
I
a
think.
lot of Doctor Who Christmas specials are always good.
I did
So I
watch the
got a lot
Guardians of
of
the
Christmas to
Galaxy.
watch.
I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. You know the Star Wars holiday special is on Disney now?
Oh God,
Yeah. I don't know if it's the same one
it,
or
it,
what, but I saw
it
the
has
Star Wars holiday special.
with Chewie's family.
Yeah, and B. Arthur. I've never
It's
seen
funny
it.
because
I've never
Chewie's
seen
family
it.
is on that, but it's nothing like his home planet.
No.
That was in which episode was that?
Oh, in
Where they actually went to
yeah,
his planet,
yeah, Kashyyyk.
Kashyyyk.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. I don't know. I've never seen the Star Wars holiday special, so maybe I'll have to watch it this year just so that I can say that I have. I've watched the Cinema Sins episode about that, which was funny because none of it makes sense, and I love it because going back to Community, they make fun of it in one of the episodes. They were talking about the Inspector Spacetime Christmas special, and some of the things that they do in there was actually ripped straight from the Star Wars holiday special. They were talking about how bad it was.
Well, while you're at it, you might as well watch the Grady Walk Adventure.
The what? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I
Did
think
you
there
ever
was
read
two of them.
those? Did you ever read those Ewok books?
No.
They made a whole series about the Ewoks, and man, their planet is terrifying. Like,
Well, yeah. They're like wearing skulls and stuff.
well, it's like we look at them as like, okay, they took on some stormtroopers. We're like, how did they even take on stormtroopers with all their technology? But if
Oh,
you
they're
read
vicious. They're cute little.
their their planet has like giant spiders and things that are constantly trying to kill them. Like they're little warriors. Like we
Right.
just did not get that from
Like
episode 6.
you know, you don't understand.
Yeah. I was like,
Which kind of makes me think if Disney had any balls, they'd really do a real Ewok and make it very disturbing.
yeah, just not for kids.
like, like he's just like he goes and like slits a animal's throat and then takes the blood and wipes it on its face.
Well, it's like one of the things that's been pointed out before is at the ceremony at the end of episode 6, they're playing like on the the stormtrooper armor. They're like playing drums on it, and they were like,
Yeah,
"What
yeah.
happened to the person inside there?" And like
The
they
heads
point out,
are still.
they're saying the heads are. I've heard them say like, "Well, they were going to cook and eat, Luke and Han and everything, so they are not cannibals, I guess, but they were willing to eat human flesh, so there's a good possibility they were eating stormtroopers." Like, The Ewoks are a little fucked up.
Yeah,
So
they
I don't
need
know.
to do a. See, Disney's ruined Star, and that's another thing. Star Wars is gonna die if it's not dead already.
I am interested to watch the Skeleton Crew. I don't really know much about what it is, but um, it's got is that Jude Law in there? I think it's Jude Law. Anyways, I it looks intriguing enough of a Star Wars adventure that doesn't tie into all the other shit they've been doing that I'm kind of like this could be an interesting show.
I saw it on there, but it's like after playing this game or trying this game, it's so boring that
What game?
the
Oh, the Outlaws
open
one?
world one.
Yeah. I heard it
It
wasn't very
sucks.
good.
Steve Urkel's in it.
Yes, he's in it. Jaleel White is in it.
Why? How old is he?
I don't know. He's
1976. When's the last time he was in anything?
Yeah. I don't know. He makes appearances on some stuff. He does he's done a few episodes of Drunk History.
He was
Yeah,
in
it's Jude Law.
Psych.
Yeah, he was in Psych. I'm trying to see. Yeah, I think Jude Law is like the only big one. But I guess there's Nick Frost is in it too.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. A few
Oh, and
few
so
well
is
known.
Tunde Adebimpe. I don't know who that is.
No, me
But I
neither.
was acting like I did.
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna probably give it a watch at some point. Because it
Wow,
did
he's
look
been
like it
in a
was
lot
interesting.
of crappy movies.
Who's that?
Jaleel White.
Oh yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Kissing Cousins. What? He was in a movie called Kissing Cousins in 2008.
oh, sounds
Green
gross.
Flash.
After Party, American Dad, Dumbbells
Hustle.
Hustle.
I never even seen that.
Nope. I
So
don't know.
Urkel just shows up.
He just shows up and does bit parts here and there.
Apparently, there was an Urkel Saves Santa movie that came out last year,
What?
2023. Urkel Saves Santa, the movie.
Is that a cartoon?
Yes.
Oh.
And Thomas Lennon's in it. The
Oh.
Dallas Dupree Young, he plays the black kid in Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Wayne Knight Newman is in it, or his
Yeah.
voice. Oh my god, I might have to watch that.
Well, it's funny
I
because
don't know why.
we were talking earlier about I'm limiting what my daughter watches. She came home today while I was watching an episode of Cobra Kai, and she was watching like the fight that was on there and everything. And afterwards, she started kicking me in the shins, and I was like, "All right, we're done with Cobra Kai for you, young lady.
No, 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 no.
No
You
more
have to
punching,
build
daddy."
her. You have to build her, her interest in self-defense.
Oh no, I want
Start
to.
teaching her. Brian Tochi's in it. Oh, I met him just a couple months ago. He is one of the coolest people to meet. He's Revenge of the Nerds. He's Leonardo in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's been in a lot of cool shit, and he'll just let you talk his ear off. Like he's one of those guys that's like very excited to see you. And I put my Leonardo right over here, right up front, and he put TMNT 1, 2, and 3, and we had a long discussion about how like I like Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, but he really liked the first one because it was closer to the comics.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but Super Shredder and Vanilla Ice. He's like, you can make a good point. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Toka and Razor.
I did like the first one better than the second one, but the second one has its own merits. I think they
The
were.
second one to me just had a fun feel to it.
It did. It had a more fun feel. The first one was very serious.
The first one was very. I think of was it Donatello or Raphael in the tub,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
uh, very somber when they're at that house out in, I don't even remember, it's been so long, and April's like drawing a picture of Leonardo, and it's very somber,
Yeah,
and I loved it, but it didn't give me a happy feeling, it gave me a sad feeling.
it was.
Number two gave me a happy feeling.
The first movie was dark, but the comic books were a little dark too.
But the
They were
first
not.
movie was just like, whoa, it's the Ninja Turtle, and you're seeing them fighting the Foot Clan. But also, you had the Foot Clan hideout, and it's like, dude, I want to be a Foot Clan. Like, I
Yeah,
want to like,
that
I
place
want to
was
go
awesome.
there.
They had the arcade machines. They had the skate park. They were handing out cigarettes. It was great.
And they had the song,
Yeah,
"Don't Just Stand There, Bust a Move." I don't even know if that's the right one, but that's what I think.
yeah.
You want, you
Right.
know.
Like I would be attracted to be in the Foot Clan if I had all that.
Well, yeah. I mean, okay. I always thought that, even as a kid, you couldn't entice me into a cult. But then if you like just show me this, I might just be like, where do I sign up?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, and I do. I haven't seen that movie in forever. The first Ninja Turtles. It was so
Oh, I
good.
got all three of them.
The third one was it was different.
The
Uh,
third one, I did not like it as a kid.
yeah,
Oh, I think the biggest thing that got me was how fake Splinter looked.
yeah,
And it's like, where did your budget go?
yeah. Well, they did they had a live action. I think it was a continuation from the movies. They had a live action Ninja Turtle show on Fox that I remember
Well, they
watching
had
as a kid.
a cartoon movie where Raphael actually went on his own
Yeah,
and became a superhero.
yeah, that was a good one. I like that one.
What was
And now
that?
they have the Last Ronin that's coming out soon. It's going to be a live action. And for those of you listening who don't know what the Last Ronin is, that's the comic book series where Michelangelo is the last living Ninja Turtle and goes off and becomes a vigilante warrior. It's a pretty dark one. It's supposed to be rated R, which is crazy.
So there's this toy store here in town, and I bought my daughter like $200 worth of My Hero Academia Funko Pops and statues and stuff. Um, because I spoil her, even though she tells me I'm a bad dad. And they have all these old Masters of the Universe They literally have Ninja Turtles 1, 2, and 3 action figures there, vintage, good condition. It's just this random little toy store that's here in this small town.
Yeah.
I went in there and I was like, this place is amazing. I don't I I need and the sad part is I want to buy toys.
Yeah. So there's before I forget and before we end here, I kept seeing ads for a new show called Secret Level. Have you seen this yet?
No.
Okay, so it's coming out on Amazon, and it is an anthology series with stories from classic video games. And when I first saw the trailer for it, they had Mega Man, and I thought it was just a fan made trailer, and so I just kind of dismissed it. And then I started seeing like legit trailers for it. So some of the ones that they're doing, so they're doing Mega Man, they're doing Warhammer 40,000, Unreal Tournament, what other ones? Pac-Man, Honor of Kings, Exodus, Dungeons and Dragons, Crossfire, Concord, Armored Core. So they're doing a whole bunch. So it's supposed to be like true to the game um, episodes of this show. I don't know how long it's supposed to be. I don't know much more information, but some of the voice cast is Arnold Schwarzenegger, Patrick Schwarzenegger, Kevin Hart, Laura Bailey, Keanu Reeves. I'm trying to see Michael Beach. I don't know who that is, but anyways, so it looks really
Oh,
interesting. And
Michael
so
Beaches?
you know who Michael Beach is?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think so. But they're supposed to be just like not really shorts. They're supposed to be, I think, hour-long episodes, something like that, of just like classic video games, which is kind of cool. And I'm really excited for it because I've been saying forever that we need a Mega Man movie, and nobody's done it. So that's the one I'm like most excited about because I was a huge Mega Man fan growing up.
What is it called?
It's called Secret Level, and it's from Amazon MGM Studios. But like Mega Man and Warhammer 40,000 are the two that I want to see the most.
There's a Mega Man show coming out.
Well, so it's one of the episodes on Secret Level.
Okay, I wasn't paying attention to anything.
So,
It's an
so
anthology series.
yes, so Secret Level is an anthology series.
Armored Core,
Hmm.
Conquered, Crossfire, Dungeons and Dragons, Exodus, Honor of Kings, Mega Man, New World Eternum, Pac-Man, PlayStation, Sifu, Spelunky, The Outer Worlds, Unreal Tournament, and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2.
Yeah. So, again, I don't know exactly how they're doing it, but when I saw the trailer for Mega Man, I was blown away.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah,
love
I
Mega
mean,
Man.
yeah, it's right
Mega
up our
Man.
alley.
We need a new Mega Man would be great. I know there's a billion of them.
Hmm.
But a one like a modern Mega Man, I mean, it started out the concept of like gaining these powers, right?
Hmm.
You know, um, I'm probably going to go watch a movie this weekend. I just don't know what I'm gonna watch.
Yeah.
But I heard Wicked is actually pretty good.
I heard that too. It's getting a lot of praise. I have a lot of friends who were kind of theater geeks growing up, and they were all about it. And
Well,
I saw them
even like
posting.
people that aren't like that are liking the movie.
I
Like,
know, but
it's
they were
not
like,
for everybody,
yeah,
but still, it's pretty good. And
but
I actually went to Broadway and watched Wicked,
yeah,
and I like the Broadway play. I'm a big, you know what I might see? Y2K. I heard that was actually really good.
I did want to see that one too.
So that's probably what I'll come back with next week if I decide to go watch it.
Cool.
There's also the best Christmas pageant ever.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna see what I end up watching this weekend, and I'm sure there's something new out that I can sink my teeth into. I gotta finish Cobra Kai, the new episodes that are out. Maybe dig into Skeleton Crew. Don't tell me anything yet
Kai
about
just
Cobra
ain't
Kai.
the same, but
We'll talk about Cobra Kai when I'm caught up.
it definitely pushes the. I'm not even gonna say it because I'm gonna say it wrong. People make fun of me.
Fair enough.
It's unbelievable. It's not believable.
Yeah. Oh, good. We'll talk about it next. Well, hopefully next time if I'm all caught up at that point.
Not to say it's not entertaining.
Yeah.
It's entertaining, but at the same time, like you're really trying too hard.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to see Pentatonics in concert in Rosemont on Thursday.
You don't have any money.
I don't. This was like mine and my wife's birthday gifts to each other. Was that we decided to buy tickets to go see them.
I don't know who Pentatonic is.
They're the a cappella band. They're doing their Hallelujah tour.
There's only one. There's two rockapella bands I know. The one from Scrubs and Rockapella. Where in the world is Carmen San Diego?
No, this is it's crazy how many people are not familiar because I brought it up at work and they were like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "Do you listen to Christmas music?" They have a ton of it. But anyways, they're a good a cappella group and they're extremely popular and famous. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I listen to Christmas music.
And you've heard their music. You've heard their music. I guarantee you.
Never have.
You
What's it
just
called?
don't. Pentatonics. You know
I think I've seen them on YouTube,
they're good. Anyways,
but I'm not sitting there like, I gotta watch this.
Works.
I would go watch it.
Yeah,
They were pretty good.
We're super excited to go see it in concert because they'll be at the not the United Center, the Allstate Arena. So
Okay. It's like $28. I can see why.
it was not $28. I'll tell you that much.
$28, $40, $31, 33, 37.
At
You
the
got
Allstate
ripped
Arena,
off, bro.
they were expensive tickets.
You got ripped off unless
What are
you're
you
just
What are
like
you
right
looking
up.
at?
unless he chose to be right up in front, which
I
I'm
don't know.
sure these tickets are probably like
Those are probably like,
nosebleeds.
yeah, back of the
Yeah,
stadium. Yeah, because I mean we're in the second level, but like I think the first row. So like we got some
yeah.
pretty good
So those are
tickets.
probably if it's in the first row, it's like you got nobody in your way.
Yeah,
So those are probably more expensive.
yeah. Oh yeah. But we always go whenever we go to the Allstate Arena, we always end up getting good tickets when we go to see
That's
Wolves
Van
games.
Zillion. I remember her. She was like a hot chick from when I was deployed a long time ago.
Well, fair enough. All right, we ready to wrap it up?
No one understands
No
anything
one
I'm
gets it.
saying right now.
She's just talking. He's just talking.
How old
Awesome.
is she? Sorry,
No,
I'm
it's
a.
cool.
She's 43. She'll live with me. She's too old.
Yeah.
Yeah, or grandma.
All right.
I don't get with grandmas.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up.
43.
We're gonna wrap it up. As we're just gonna let Rick keep talking. I'm gonna wrap it up. All right. Thank you everybody for listening, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Hopefully, we'll have some more content to talk about, and Rick will have picked his grandma or non-grandma, whatever he's looking at right now. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and we'll see you next time.
Level up, guys. Wow.